AGI and longevity escape velocity are actually around the corner now. It's not that far away. So that begs the question, what should we be doing? What is the most logical thing for us to be doing right now? Dario Amodei said AGI is probably going to be here within the next 3 years. Sam Altman said within the next 1 to 2 years. A lot of consensus is coming around the next few years. And yes, pre-training scaling laws have plateaued, but now we're on to a new paradigm. Like Ilya Sutskever said, it's not the scaling law, it's what are you scaling, right? So now we're in the inference scaling phase. We're going to scale the O1 portion, let the chain of thought continue, let the model think. You scale up that part, you get AGI, right? So it's really not that far away. And longevity escape velocity is actually in the pipeline. Google DeepMind open sourced AlphaFold 3. They said they're working on 6 fundamental categories of health, and those will likely be here by the mid 2030s. So we could totally see entire categories of health just getting solved altogether. It could be things like cancer, things like sickle cell disease are already being solved. There's fundamental pillars of health that could be completely eradicated, which would already extend the lifespan to possibly like 150. And then from there, maybe we'll hit some form of longevity escape velocity, because by the time we live to 150, there'll probably be new tech breakthroughs and then new tech breakthroughs and then new tech breakthroughs. We could already be in the window for longevity escape velocity. So what is the most logical thing to do right now? Really, it's just to amass as many resources as possible to make sure that we can get access to the most powerful AI in the future, the best gene therapies in the future. We want to have access to the most powerful technology, because yes, while technology is deflationary, there's always more powerful technology. Every product exists on a hierarchy of power and value, right? And the most valuable technology is the most expensive. And we want to have access to the most powerful and valuable technology for ourselves too, so we don't get left behind. Because if you don't have access to the most powerful AI, you are going to get left behind. And that's the opposite of what we want to do. So the most logical conclusion is to make as much money right now as physically possible. So that is what we're switching the YouTube channel to. How can we, in the age of AI, become as profitable as possible, amass as many resources as possible to ensure that we get access to the most powerful technology possible in the future, and make sure we can get to the window of longevity escape velocity. That way we can actually be in a very high position in society and be a very abundant and happy creature in the future, because that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. So what is the big question? There is a single question that, if answered correctly, you're basically guaranteed to be quite wealthy in the future. And that question is, whenever a computer can do all things any human can do, what is there left to buy? That is the $1 million question. Again, when every single individual has a computer that can do all things any human can do, what is there left to buy? If you can answer that question extremely well, you're going to be very prosperous in the future. Okay, so from there we can branch out a few different categories. Physical products. You can still sell physical products, but you just have the computer make the physical products for you to sell to consumers. So that's one. Another one would be like deep tech. Building the next frontier of computation, building the next computers, right? Those sorts of things are also an option, but the probability of you being a good enough physicist to do that isn't 100%. We'll just say that. Next one would be like an entertainment business. Here's the thing. With AI, one of the biggest challenges that come is the post-labor economy. When we have AGI, or super powerful AI, however you want to call it, that can do all economically viable tasks better than humans, what do humans do? Well, they're going to search for meaning. They don't have meaning at that point. They're going to look around and be like, okay, what do I do now? There's a lot of people out there that don't even know what they actually enjoy. They just do work because that's what they thought they should do, because society told them to. But whenever that work is gone, where do they go? And we already see historically throughout all of human behavior, whenever humans are searching for meaning, what do? they go into groups, they go into religions, they go into cults to find the meaning, because that's where people find meaning, is in groups of other people. So whatever your individual passion is, whether you like cooking, whether you like reading, or you like writing, whatever you like to do, create a community around that thing, and people will join there to find meaning for what they want, for whatever that is that you like to do. There's other people that like to do that thing too, and they will join your community to find meaning, because they will just want to do the things that they want to do, which is what your community helps them do. And they'll be in a community with a bunch of like-minded people just like them, right? So that's option number 2 for solving the meaning crisis. And again, there's 2 ways to solve the meaning crisis. And by the way, this is probably the biggest market in the future, is the meaning crisis, because that's literally, like, if you measure it by the total adjustable market of how many humans work right now, there's billions of humans that could be potential customers for this type of business. So this, for one, is one of the biggest opportunities in the near future. And then also, it's something where you can provide value to humanity, help this transition from a pre-AGI to a post-AGI economy, help this transition become much easier for the entire species of humanity. I think that's only a net positive for humanity. But there is 2 ways of doing this. There's going to be a group of people who want to help people find meaning by, like, creating these digital worlds and creating super immersive video games, and then suck people into the metaverse, and they just get stuck in the metaverse forever. I don't necessarily love that option. I think that's an option that's okay if you want to do it. I like the option of helping people become valuable in the physical world, or helping people build businesses in the physical world so they don't get stuck into the metaverse forever. Because at the end of the day, we still want to, like, expand outwards and colonize space. But if everybody's just, like, stuck in the metaverse, why would we go to space? Everybody's just going to be stuck here on Earth getting dopamine hits while they're in this fake world. We want to be in the real world colonizing space. That way we can actually survive. But that's a different story for a different time. The best way to solve one of the biggest problems and answer the question of, if everybody has a computer that can do anything any human can do, what is there left to buy? So that's the number 1 question, and the number 1 business opportunity, unless you're like a physicist or somebody who's really good at, like, working within the realms of quantum computing or thermodynamic computing, or you're building a frontier AI model. If you're not any of those people, or if you are those people, click off the video. But if you aren't any of those people, the best opportunity is to build a community of people like yourself, because that's going to be where other people can find value as we go through this transition. So what my idea is, and this is what I'm doing, just to give you some, like, ideas, maybe this could be valuable. If you see what I'm doing, it might be something that gives you some insights or something like this. What I'm doing, and this is what I've done in the past, because I used to have a premium community business where people would pay me anywhere from like 2 to 3 to 5, upwards of $10,000 sometimes, just to join my online community. What I plan on doing is building an online community that helps other people become entrepreneurs. Because in the future, if we have some form of UBI, the way the UBI will be done is not to give people way too much comfort. It's not going to be there to give so many people so much comfort that they just never work again. It's going to be there to keep them alive, give them enough comfort for them to become entrepreneurial. So I think everybody's going to be an entrepreneur in the future. And what I want to do is help people build community businesses, because that's going to be what helps us go through this transition. That's going to be what solves the meaning crisis, is building communities where people can find value, find meaning, and find the things that they like to do. And if we have a bunch of different community businesses of a bunch of different niches, a bunch of different topics, a bunch of different hobbies, that'll be a very easy way for you to become economically independent, and for the entire species of humanity to go through this transition in the most seamless way possible. Again, I don't want to be that guy who just builds like a metaverse and like dopamine sucks everybody's dopamine receptors. I think that's a little weird and a little cringy, and also a little unethical in some cases, depending if you want to have that conversation. But I think building a community that gives people value within the real world is something that is very valuable. I had to take off my jacket. I was getting a little warm. Okay, so number one is building a community. That's a very good way to provide value. It's a very good way to solve the meaning crisis, and it's going to be one of the biggest markets on the face of the earth. Okay, and there's actually a book about this called The Network State that Balaji, who is a general partner at Andreessen Horowitz, which is a venture capitalist firm, he also sees the same insight that I am sharing with you right now. So this is actually a very, very valuable insight, and I want you to take it very seriously. Okay, so that's number one. And what we can do with the community is you can build this community, you sell people access to this community where they can find a meeting. You don't have to make it expensive at all. Mine is only $7 per month. If it is something you'd like to join, it is linked below. But in this community, we also have access for you to buy other things. Maybe you like the merch that we sell, you can buy access to the merch in the community. Or if you have maybe you want to build a cooking community and you have different recipes that you can sell. You have different sauces, like homemade recipes and different sauces that you can sell to your different members. That's also something that you could do within your community. Or you can even, if you are into clothing or fashion, you can build a community and have one of the community tabs where people can talk. You can have buy, sell, trade little things happening within your community. And now people can go into your community and have access to these things that are very valuable to them, where they can buy, sell, and trade the different items that they have or want. I think that's also a really good idea. So there's more than one way to monetize a community. You can monetize it with a tripwire funnel, or you can monetize it by having different products and items for people to buy. There's an infinite amount of ways to monetize a community in the coming future. And now next, what I want to talk about is the investment thesis. So we want to make our money, build our income, doing the most solving the biggest problem that is coming, to be honest, which is the meaning economy. If we can solve that problem, we're going to be very wealthy. And we solve the one question of, if a computer can do all things a human can do, what is there left to buy, right? We solve those two things. Where do we want to put our money? How do we want to invest so that we can make sure we maximize the returns on our work? So this is where it gets interesting, because there's some markets that not many people know about. There's some loopholes and some very early markets that you can invest in. And I know this sounds very secretive, blah, 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 blah. It's really not that secretive. There's people that talk about this all the time, but you just have to be in the right crowds to know about it, okay? So if you look at the crypto industry, especially with the new administration that's going in play, people like Vivek Ramaswamy, people like JD Vance, and people even like Elon Musk, these are people that are very tech forward, and Vivek and JD Vance are very crypto oriented, very blockchain technology oriented people. And even Donald Trump is mentioning possibly buying Bitcoin as a reserve currency. So crypto markets were a very premature market. They're not really premature anymore. They're now maturing. So the crypto markets are actually becoming very valuable markets. And how we mentioned the post-labor economy, solving the meaning crisis, there's two different models. One is gaming and one is communities. We'll build communities and invest in gaming, because gaming is going to exist. It's going to be there anyways. We might as well invest in gaming now, since that's also going to be one of the biggest markets in the future. We can invest in the early gaming crypto coins, and now you get venture capitalist like returns on these startups. Because in the current crypto markets, they're not very regulated. You can't actually invest directly into those crypto gaming companies with US dollars, but you can directly invest through the crypto market. We now basically have a loophole where you do not have to be an accredited investor to get access to accredited investor types of deals. You get venture capitalist like returns without having to be an accredited investor. This is a loophole. We have access to these deals that people who are not accredited investors have never had access to before. The barrier to entry does not exist here. And now you and I both have access to these. Again, this is not financial advice. I am just a dumb monkey floating on a big rock in the middle of space. But genuinely, this is what I plan on doing. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. But these markets, the crypto gaming markets, are going to be billion-dollar, possibly trillion-dollar companies in the future. Same with the AI crypto markets. they're going to be very massive companies in the future. And right now they're very very premature. We're getting in before anybody else does. These are like 1,000x, maybe 10,000x returns you could get over 20 years. Right now they're again very premature, but not very premature. The gaming markets are becoming mature. If you look at crypto, Bitcoin is mature, Ethereum is getting mature. The crypto gaming markets and the crypto AI markets are still premature, but they're maturing. And then you have like your altcoins, which are premature, and then you have shit coins and meme coins, which we don't even touch those things. Those are for degenerates. But anyways, the point is, you get access to these deals that only accredited investors get access to. Venture capitalists like returns, 20x returns, 30x returns, potentially 100x returns in the short term. And in the long term, potentially 100,000x returns or more. So this is the only time for all I can remember, since like the gold rush, that this has been a possibility. We are entering the digital gold rush, quite literally. The techno renaissance is here, and the digital gold rush has begun. And we can capitalize on this right now. So this is what I plan on doing. I just kind of laid out my entire strategy and my entire community. I plan on helping people implement this exact strategy because I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I'm extremely prepared. And this is actually something that I have done in the past. Like, I've literally had an online premium community that's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and people have paid me upwards of 4 to 5 figure prices just to join my premium community. I have one down below for $7 per month so that I can help you do these things. And then you can help other people do whatever you actually enjoy doing. But these are the things I enjoy doing, which is why I'm going to help you do these things. And then you can build your community around whatever you want and then invest your profits wherever you want. I just wanted to share my ideas. Hopefully they're insightful to you. Hopefully they provided you with some value. If they did, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I will see you in the next video.